Hello, so my name is Alex Blanchflower, and I did my TV show analysis on the show Blackish, which follows around the Johnson family, consists of 6 people. It's Dre, Rainbow, who are the 2 parents, and then they have 4 kids. Their oldest is Zoe, and then there's Junior, and Jack and Diane are the twins, and they're younger. Dre's father also lives with them. They just call him Pops. But it's taking place in a very wealthy area in Los Angeles, California. And by the first episode, I got the gist that the neighborhood was very white dominated, I guess you can say. One of the very first scenes in the show, there was a tour bus going around, and they called the Johnson family the mythical, majestic black family, and they were out of their natural habitat being outside in this wealthy neighborhood. So I think a lot of the show deals with many of the personal and socio-political struggles that not only black families, but a lot of families struggle with day to day. And again, in the first episode, Dre talks about his job a lot. He just became senior vice president in his firm. He works at a very rich firm. And they made him SVP of the urban division, which Dre gets a little mad about because he thinks that they just made him senior vice president of all things black, he says. And he says that upper management at his job isn't diverse because he thinks that everyone is white, and then everyone in lower management is where all the diversity is. So that gets under his skin a little bit. He also has a problem with his family and how they're cultured. He thinks his family isn't cultured enough with black culture. His son in the first episode wants to have a bar mitzvah, which Dre has a big problem about, and his son wants to convert his religion to Judaism just so he can have the party. Dre gets upset over that and says that it's not going to happen and starts to perform a traditional African ceremony, which of course doesn't work, and they throw him the party that he wants. And then going into episode 2, it goes along with their parenting and how they both are maybe uncomfortable with their parenting and think they have to work on it. So Dre ends up giving his son the talk, which Rainbow had already given him, but he gets upset thinking that it's the dad's job to give the son the talk. So he ends up giving him another one and wants Junior to feel as comfortable as possible with going to him about questions, but is very uncomfortable with the questions that Junior comes to him with. And Rainbow wants to become a better mother by listening to Zoe more and her problems, but she ends up getting so caught up in her head thinking that she's a good mom that she misses the whole story, and Zoe has to turn to Pops to get the advice that she needed and that her mother couldn't give her. And then in episode 3, it goes along with a lot of the black culture that Dre doesn't think his family is getting. It starts off with Dre and Junior just walking into school, and Junior didn't give another black kid that he saw the nod, which goes into a lot of detail about the nod in the episode. But so Dre ends up bringing Junior to the hood where he throws him into a basketball game, and that doesn't work either because Junior doesn't like basketball, which we learned in the first episode too, and thinks that Junior needs to have more black friends. So Dre drives all around town trying to find him black friends, doesn't work. And while all that's going on, Rainbow is getting upset with Jack and Diane because they had career day at school and neither of them want to be a doctor like Rainbow is. So Rainbow ends up bringing Diane in to work with her, and Diane falls in love with ER and how crazy it is, and she loved it. And that was basically the third episode, is them like struggling with their parenting and how well they were doing. So I believe that overall, Blackish had one theme in common in each episode that I watched. It was just the first 3, and it's just the struggles that their family's going through. In episode 1, I think Jay struggled mostly with his family and the neighborhood that they were in and his job, and how he didn't think that there was enough black culture going on in his life, and he's trying to teach that to his family. Whereas in the second episode, I think both Dre and Rainbow struggle a little bit with their role as parents and how well they were doing raising their kids, and they try to switch roles at one point, which doesn't really end up working out. And then in the third episode, Dre struggled with his son, again with black culture, trying to teach him the nod and understand the black struggle, throwing him into the hood. And at the end of the episode, Dre realizes that the black struggle is different for everyone, and that like what he struggled with won't be the same as what his son struggles with, and what his father struggled with won't be the same as him or his son. And they just learn that everyone's struggle is different, and I think just overall struggling and being a normal family is what the show is all about.